Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to my Robinhood portfolio. Today I'd like to talk about some of the dangers of penny stock investing, notably being delisted from the stock market. That is, the stock is essentially taken off the stock market. You can no longer trade that. And in your portfolio, in your brokerage account, you'll simply see that the stock is no longer present. So I have one example here, MARA, Marathon Patent Group. This is a great penny stock that I've done a little bit of investing in. As you guys know, I'm not a big penny stock investor, but I am trying to get into doing some more penny stock trades by essentially doing the viewer penny stock challenge. As you guys know, I'm trying to put together a portfolio of penny stocks, all suggested by viewers who have had some great success with some different penny stocks, and then trying to replicate some of their success. But in doing so, I definitely want to highlight some of the problems or some of the dangers that can be associated with doing some investing in penny stock. So MARA here, it's a great penny stock. It's been one of the more popular penny stocks suggested in the portfolio, but there's a big problem with this particular stock. If we take a look at the NASDAQ Listing Center here, this is a great website. I encourage you guys to check it out, listingcenter.nasdaq.com. And you can see if we take a closer look at the listings for U.S. stocks here, you'll see that there is a section called non-compliant companies. If we take a look at this, these are all companies that are at risk from being delisted from the stock market. So if a company is delisted from the stock market, you don't necessarily lose those shares in that company. But if they cannot be traded on a major stock exchange, the value of these particular stocks essentially goes to zero. They dramatically fall in price, 95% plus for these particular stocks. If we take a look at the individual names here, you can see quite a few penny stocks that have been suggested on the Viewer Penny Stock Challenge, including Delcast Systems there, DCTH, and if we go down, you can also see Marathon Patent Group is on here as well, MARA. So this is a big problem with a lot of these particular penny stocks. If you don't necessarily take a look at some of the information with regards to these companies when they are notified of a potential delisting, you could hold these overnight and then in the morning essentially have zero stakes in that particular company because the stocks are no longer able to be traded on the stock exchange, which, again, you don't lose those stocks, but the value essentially goes to zero because there's no way of trading those unless you do some off-the-market kinds of trades, which are very difficult to do. And as you can imagine, the number of buyers out there is almost nothing. So the value of the stock is essentially worthless. And just kind of highlight some of the standards. All the companies on any stock exchange have a number of financial liquidity standards that are needed to be maintained for continued listing. It gets a little bit complex, but you can see here these are all the penny stocks that are currently on the danger list, including the two stocks that are some of the more popular penny stocks, to be quite honest, that were suggested, DCTH, Delcath, as well as MARA, Marathon Patent Group. And the other big thing, too, is to make it a little bit more simple, if a stock does not maintain a stock price of I think it's $5. The stock is really at high risk for being delisted from the stock market. So that includes all penny stocks. I just wanted to kind of highlight that in penny stock investing. A lot of new investors are holding these stocks for weeks at a time. I definitely would not advise doing that. And if you do that, make sure you're checking these sorts of websites, listingcenter.nasdaq.com for the NASDAQ. There's another one for the other major stock exchanges, but definitely take this into consideration when you are holding penny stocks overnight. So that's why I always advocate getting out of a penny stock if you can. And by no means should you hold a penny stock for greater than 1 week. But again, that's my opinion. I'm not a seasoned penny stock investor, but from the reading and research I've done, you definitely don't want to be holding penny stocks longer than you need.